What's going on, family? Welcome to the Amplify Social Justice Podcast. If you're tuning in for the very first time, this podcast is dedicated to one clear, unwavering mission: amplifying community advocacy, cultivating leadership development, and exploring the critical intersections of technology, ethics, and social justice. We dive deep into cultural frameworks, institutional structures, and digital systems shaping our world today to give you the clarity and the tools you need to command your narrative. How does this help you? Well, whether you are a student, an advocate, an executive, or a creator, this show serves as an intellectual armor. We don't just talk about problems. We break down complex ideas from policy and history to modern algorithms of AI and turn them into actionable blueprints. Our goal is to help you move from passive consumption to active transformation so you can elevate your own voice and build sustainable institutional power within your community. If you're ready to challenge the status quo and push the culture forward, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and join the family. Now, speaking of elevating narratives, let's dive right in to today's focus. What's up, family, and welcome back to the show. Today, I want to take you behind the curtain on a project that is incredibly close to my heart. I want to talk about why I sat down to write my book, The Power of the Black Voice. In fact, you can get it hardcover, you can get it paperback, you can even get it in Spanish. There's also a Kindle version, or if you're like me, you can also get it as an audio version. So the spark for this book actually started in a lecture hall. I was sitting in a philosophy course, deeply immersed in studying the classic Western Eurocentric philosophers. And as much as I value academic rigor, I kept looking at the syllabus, looking at the text, and realizing that there was a massive glaring void. Where was the sufficient representation of Black thought leaders? Where were the Black philosophers? Both the ones with academic credentials and the ones whose philosophy was forged on the front lines of our community and culture. Where were they? Then it hit me hard. We're living in an era where erasure and reductivism, and that's a mouthful to say, reductivism, are very real threats. If we aren't careful, the depth, the nuance, and the brilliance of Black voice can be systematically minimized or lost entirely. And look, this isn't just a historical problem. It's an immediate technological problem. We're living in the age of artificial intelligence. But here's the reality. AI systems are only as good as the data fed into them. If our history, our philosophy, and our contemporary voices are omitted from the data models today, we face a digital erasure tomorrow. We can't let machine learning become an archive of our silence. So, Who did I write this book for? I wrote it for thinkers, for advocates, for students, and for creators who refuse to let their narratives be dictated or diminished. I wrote it for anyone who understands that amplifying our stories isn't a luxury. It's an absolute necessity for cultural preservation and institutional power. If you want to understand how to protect our voice in the age of algorithms, this text is for you. Before we dive into how you should approach reading this book and to get the most out of it, I want to point you to where you can grab your copy right now. Head over to amplifydlh.com. Not only can you pick up your copy of The Power of the Black Voice directly from the site, but I've also built out a hub of free resources, discussion guides, and tools designed to help you take these concepts out of the pages and into your everyday advocacy. That's amplifydlh.com. The link is right down in the description below. Now, when you get this book in your hand, I don't want you just to read it passively. This isn't a book you can just flip through before bed. I want you to treat it like a text and an active workshop. When you dive in, I want you to bring a notebook, bring a highlighter, and bring an intentional approach to this material. We use a specific framework in this book for critical analysis, and it's TEXT, text, the text method. And as you move through the chapters, I want you to break down the arguments using this exact flow. T stands for textual evidence. What is the core argument being presented on the page? What are the facts? E, explanation. How does this relate to the broader systems of power, AI, or history as we are navigating? X stands for X-ray, examination. Look beneath the surface. What are the underlying assumptions or biases being challenged here? And T, the takeaway, the transformation. How do you apply this truth to your own leadership, your own work, or your own community? When you read with that level of intentionality, you aren't just absorbing information. You are building an intellectual armor. Because here's the bottom line, family. If we don't ensure that the Black voice is actively amplified, elevated, and documented, the systems being built around us will default to our own exclusion. Erasure doesn't always happen loudly. Sometimes it happens quietly through an algorithm that simply forgets that we exist. The power of the Black voice is a blueprint to make sure we stay loud, stay accurate, and stay visible. If you are ready to dive into this journey with me, go to amplifydlh.com right now. Grab the book, download the free resources, and let's get to work. If this message resonated with you, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment with your thoughts on how AI is impacting our culture, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Keep amplifying, keep elevating, and I'll see you in the next episode.